Welcome back everyone to day two Dell Tech World. I'm John Furrier, Dave Vellante. This is Dell Technologies World. 2026, day one, really kind of set the table. We see the massive growth, the business performance, the technologies coming together as AI hits the wave. Now the portfolio kind of fills in the puzzle for this next generation wave. Travis is back on theCUBE, great to see you.
Good to see you.
SVP of ISG Product Management at Dell Technologies. Caitlin, great to see you. VP Product Management. Private Cloud, we'll get into that, and AI Solutions, Dell, great to see you. David Kennedy was talking yesterday about the performance, and Dave asked, where's the growth? He says it's going to come from the pull through on AI Factory, storage, networking. These are the pieces that are driving the effectiveness. So my first question is, we heard from Jeff Clark, the power is getting faster. He had all those 10 things that happened. He said any one of them could have been a banner year, but it's all popping. How are you guys viewing this? How's the business evolving? Because the product cycles are fast too.
Yeah. I mean, generative AI has really changed the conversation that we're having with customers day in and day out. I mean, it's just even say generative AI sounds dated, right? It's agentic now. But the conversation has evolved and accelerated over the last couple of years, and every enterprise we talk to is trying to answer the question, what do I do about agentic? What do I do about generative AI? And they spend a lot of time focusing on the infrastructure, which we have great infrastructure, and you saw all the fantastic announcements that we had today. Where we've seen them struggle more is operational complexity, IT operations, and data complexity in terms of data management. And so, we at Dell are absolutely focused on making sure that we have the best price performance, the best power and cooling specifications, lowest rack space, all of those things. But where we really think we can differentiate, given our vast experience and the 5,000 customers that we have on the AI Factory, is helping them through the organizational, operational, and data challenges that they have.
PowerStore Elite, the next phase is here. We see two dimensions. I want to get your reaction to this. One is the economics.
Yeah.
Because prices are high in memory. And also the technical side where the GPU utilization is a big issue right now. People are starting to really talk about it, the costs of having something idle.
Yeah.
Is a storage opportunity.
Oh, for sure.
Explain that, because I think that also leads into the other side of the economic equation, not just pricing, but the access of the outcomes.
Yeah, so PowerStore Elite is the largest refresh that we've had for the PowerStore platform since we talked 6 short years ago on the initial launch. And it's 3x the performance, it's 3x the density. We've gone from a 5-to-1 data reduction guarantee to a 6-to-1 data reduction guarantee. So just fantastic increase because of the underlying technology increase. But in addition to optimizing your private cloud environment, what customers are increasingly trying to do is make sure that the GPUs are fed. And that's where something like Exascale or PowerScale comes into play. Right, the fact that we can deliver 40 gigabytes per second out of object scale to keep the GPUs fed. So we across the portfolio, whether you're talking about private cloud, whether you're talking about generative AI or agentic, and whether you're talking about cyber resiliency, we're keeping the portfolio front and center and on the leading edge of what's capable. And I think the private cloud aspect, the operational benefits that we provide are critical, and that's where something like the automation platform and Dell Private Cloud comes into play.
2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we put forth the premise, Caitlin, and you and I talked about this, that while there's a lot of activity going on in the cloud, a lot of experimentation and POCs, the customers we talked to, they wanted to bring the AI to the data. Everybody talks about that, but the problem was there weren't clear solutions.
Yeah.
You guys have been building those solutions. That was kind of number one. The other sort of piece of that was the ecosystem, and you guys have made great progress on both of those. Obviously the private cloud solution is one of those. I wonder if you could talk about the progress you've made there, and then we can maybe chat about the ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, Travis talked about the operationalization of AI in the enterprise, and some of that comes into the basics of just really accelerating the time to token, right? Time to value for AI, and that means that not only for the AI factories do we do all the validation and the testing, and we publish these reference architectures and performance guides, but we're also delivering automated blueprints to enable our services to be able to deploy all of those in an automated fashion, which is great, because then you have the runtime up and you have your GPUs available, but then the next layer is what are you going to do with it? And that's where the ecosystem comes in. So having the new AI ISV ecosystem program enables us to bring ecosystem providers in context of their use cases and have Dell validation behind that and be able to really scale that for our enterprise customers so we can really help them onboard and deploy those in an automated fashion as well, all through the Dell Automation Platform.
And you really have to take I would say a slightly new posture for Dell in terms of the ecosystem, because it's much more open today than it was, say, 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, pretty much anybody can come in. You had Thomas Kurian on the stage today. I know that like Veeam and Commvault are here because they run on data domain. It's a new posture that you guys have taken. It's very kind of AWS-like, and we've seen what they can do as the platform, and you guys are really just getting started with that posture.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what our team does in the solutions platform team is partnering with all of these different providers, because we know what our customers need is changing rapidly, and we have to be open to these different partnerships, and we need to be able to solve these challenges together. And because we're all exploring such new territory across the board, we have to really look at it together, because we each bring such different expertise into the equation. And it's exciting because there's a new partner every day. I mean, just these announcements yesterday, we have a whole bunch of new phone calls coming in, and it enables the whole new partner program. We've automated the intake, we've automated the testing, we enable these partners to do self-validation so that we can actually scale that. And of course, we do hands-on testing from the biggest ones, but it enables us to have that balance of focusing on a few strategic partners and enabling us to intake a lot more.
Partner is a great story because now they can do the heavy lifting. You guys are deploying, we heard on the racks in 6 hours. The rack scale is amazing. Dave always used to talk about cloud repatriation. And I want to ask about private cloud. Not that it's back, it's kind of real.
Yes.
Hybrid cloud is steady state. We see distributed computing and hybrid cloud as the way. But private cloud highlights some of the changes on the technology. Inference, the workloads that are being automated. You know, we're seeing automation of orchestrations, that's a word we're hearing. These things are forcing a repatriation, but it's still growth for everyone. Talk about the impact to why private is back, or elevated to a
I'm going to quote you on it, I like it. Private back.
I just want to chime in, because I was always very negative on repatriation.
Was it ever gone?
Well,
long live private cloud.
But I always said, repatriation is not really a big thing, but I don't think it's so much repatriation as it's a change in the operating model that requires on-prem infrastructure.
Cost too, Dave. I mean, cost to run workloads in the cloud have become significant.
Absolutely.
And we haven't even seen, we saw billions of tokens that you can run on-premise. So I think the on-prem isn't about cloud versus on-prem. It's the fact that, hey, we have a hybrid, you can run private on it.
That's right,
I think it's always been about the right tool for the job, right? And Arthur was talking about it up on stage today. The vast majority of data still resides on premises. And being able to bring the compute and the data management and the orchestration and the automation to where the data lives is not only cheaper, but it's more efficient. And so I think it's just a reality of customers more than ever need to turn the data that they have, that's the oil, right? Everything else is just piping, right, to get value from the oil. And the ability to leverage that in place is critical to our customers.
But I think it's more nuanced than that, because what's different to me is that always existed, but the momentum in the market on-prem was largely, the business value was largely a function of the refresh cycle. I'm going to get better costs.
Right.
Now it's a function of different level of business value that's touching the entire organization across the operating model.
That's right.
We're breaking down silos where the key piece is data, of course, and that's a whole new growth vector beyond just the modernization piece.
And I should have been, agentic and generative AI, I firmly believe that the knowledge of an enterprise is encoded in its unstructured data that lives on premises and its structured data that largely lives on premises. And so while the data has resided on-prem, and that's been a constant for the last 10 to 15 years, the difference now is generative AI, right? Being able to bring those models in that operating environment to where the data lives.
And Jeff Clark gave an example of Dell, how you guys are changing your workflows internally.
Yeah.
That wasn't around 5 years ago. So
No.
again, we heard David Morin on stage talking about OpenClaw having that moment of excitement. The workflows are actually happening on premises.
That's right.
In the workplace.
Because that's where the data is.
Yeah.
We're doing that ourselves in product management. We have completely re-engineered our workflows for our core teams and completely changed the tooling in a matter of weeks because we can do our job better and we can do it more efficiently. So we really are living that throughout Dell and everything we're doing.
Give us a quick rundown of the announcements. You guys, Jensen's 5-layer cake never has data in there, and so I love to see data being such
That's your favorite layer of the cake.
highlight of the keynote, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's your wheelhouse.
So let me start with the AI data platform. The big announcements that we had for the AI data platform was the unveiling of our data orchestration engine capability and integrations that we've done with the data orchestration engine across Dell storage and the value that it provides and the ability to cleanse and annotate and pipeline data for generative AI. We also, from a core storage for generative AI perspective, we updated our offerings to be able to provide a 4-in-1 solution called Exascale, where you can basically take the same underlying building block and run a file, an object, a parallel file, or a block personality on it. And we are also providing AI solutions including a broad ecosystem for the AI factory.
So I'm just going to interrupt real quick for the audience. This is right tool for the right job. You're not trying to do an all-in-one sort of Swiss Army knife system. But
yeah,
please,
AI data platform is a solution that consists of multiple components, and the customer gets to pick and choose which ones make sense for their environment.
Caitlin, talk about the ecosystem on the private cloud. I'm really interested in this. I want to do a follow-up for sure. One, what the plans are and what's changed.
Yeah, and zooming out a little bit, so in the Dell Automation platform, we have a lot of different enhancements. On the Dell private cloud side, we've done a few really important things. So we've had some really exciting early adoption of that platform, and we've had a lot of great feedback from customers. So what we've done there, the big announcements are expanding that ecosystem. So we've added support for Microsoft Azure Local with PowerStore. Our Nutanix support now supports PowerStore. You see a theme here? And then we have also now introduced support for VCF 9.1 as well in the Dell private cloud, because what we're finding in our customers is, in addition to all of the AI that they're trying to deal with, they still have a hypervisor disruption that they're trying to solve. And the reality is that Dell Private Cloud with disaggregated infrastructure with PowerStore now 6-to-1 data reduction, you have up to 65% acquisition cost savings. And then on top of that, the private cloud software gives you the operational savings. So it's really a cost benefit analysis that is undisputed for every one of our customers, that we're really trying to help them get out of the handcuffs of HCI and get into the freedom that they need with Dell Private Cloud.
Yeah, and it fits the mold where AI factories, it's the gravity around the reinvention, the reset. AI infrastructure is on the main stage, again, continues to transform. Thanks for coming on theCUBE, Travis and Caitlin, thanks for coming on, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, day 2 of theCUBE, we'll be right back with more wall-to-wall coverage. This is our busiest day, all the action's happening here in Las Vegas at Dell Tech World, setting the agenda for the modern enterprise, and as large-scale computing, hyperscalers are growing, everyone's winning in the AI. This is the new trend, we're seeing it happen and play out in real time. Thanks for watching.